Hello and welcome to Basics of Fair Housing History and Local Resources for Spencer Residents. My name is Sonia Pagnano and I'm the Associate Planner for the Medina County Planning and Fair Housing Department. So today's agenda will cover the Fair Housing Act, history and reflections, fair housing discrimination, local resources that are available, and then there will be time for a question and answer period, and you can type your questions in the chat. The Fair Housing Act of 1968 prohibited discrimination concerning the sale, rental, and financing of housing based on race, religion, national origin, or sex. The Fair Housing Act stands as the final great legislative achievement of the Civil Rights era. And today, the Act protects people from discrimination when they are renting or buying a home, getting a mortgage, seeking housing assistance, or engaging in other housing-related activities. We are providing today's webinar for Spencer residents because we get funding from HUD that goes through the state, and they require us to provide fair housing assistance countywide. And one of the projects we did this year and are working on now is a ADA ramp replacement at Spencer Township Town Hall with that grant funding. So it's really important that we reach out to those specific communities that we are serving with this grant funding. So for housing history and reflections. There is great YouTube resources out there that kind of talk about how there used to be redlining in our communities where African Americans were segregated by neighborhoods through zoning and planning, and even just through the way people would sell their homes. If they found out a family was moving in down the street that was African American and they were white, they would actually sell their home because they didn't want to be near those individuals. So fair housing really has a dark history, but it's an important one, and we need to recognize the fact that a lot of these laws that have come into effect are because people have been discriminated against in the past. So who is protected? You're protected by race, color, national origin, religion, sex, familial status, and disability, and that's just through the Fair Housing Act on the federal level. Depending on where you live, so Spencer Township, for example, or even Spencer Village, they might have additional ordinances protecting other protected classes. These are just the federal ones, so we do encourage you, if you feel like you're being discriminated against, to check your local municipality and see if you're protected more than just by one. Types of housing that's covered under the Fair Housing Act. It's most housing. In very limited circumstances, the Act exempts owner-occupied buildings with no more than 4 units, single-family houses sold or rented by the owner without the use of an agent, and housing operated by religious organizations and private clubs that limit occupancy to members. So what is fair housing discrimination? Fair housing discrimination means it is illegal to take any of the following actions because of race, color, religion, sex, disability, familial status, or national origin. Refuse to rent or sell housing. Refuse to negotiate for housing. Otherwise make housing unavailable. Set different terms, conditions, or privileges for sale or rental of a dwelling. Provide a person different housing services or facilities. Falsely deny that housing is available for inspection, sale, or rental. Make, print, or publish any notice, statement, or advertisement with respect to the sale or rental of a dwelling that indicates any preference, limitation, or discrimination. Evict a tenant or a tenant's guest. Harass a person. fail or delay performance of maintenance or repairs, limit privileges, services, or facilities of a dwelling, refuse to provide or discriminate in the terms or conditions of homeowners insurance because of the race, color, religion, sex, disability, familial status, or national origin of the owner and or occupants of a dwelling. And there are more scenarios out there. This is not a complete list. This is just to give you an idea of the types of illegal actions that do take place out there. We don't get any calls really from Spencer right now in regards to fair housing discrimination. Part of that might be due to lack of outreach. It is more rural in that area of the county. But do know that you are protected by fair housing, and it is available to you at any time to make a complaint to our office. So how do you access those local resources when it comes to housing, and especially housing discrimination? If you'd like to make a complaint, you can call 330-722-9219. We also have a fair housing email. If you'd like to maybe describe your situation more or get in touch that way, you can email mcfairhousing@medinaco.org, or come to the Fair Housing Office to speak with the Fair Housing Coordinator, Cheryl Heinley, regarding the complaint. The Fair Housing Coordinator will evaluate the complaint and offer the intake paperwork, which can be completed in person or emailed or mailed to be completed at home. When you complete your intake paperwork, you would submit that to our Fair Housing Coordinator. She will then assess the complaint and begins the investigation process. Now, a lot of times individuals do become nervous about losing their anonymity at that point, because when you complete this paperwork, you are allowing our office to investigate the complaint. And sometimes that means we talk to the individual that maybe the problem is with. So if you're a renter, we maybe talk to your landlord if you feel like your landlord is discriminating against you. And sometimes that makes individuals very uncomfortable, but just know it is illegal to retaliate against complaints. And it is your right to file a complaint and have it investigated. Complaints can also be filed or forwarded directly to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, also known as HUD, or the Ohio Civil Rights Commission, also known as OCRC, for further investigation and determination. So sometimes if we have a case where it's very bad, it's obvious discrimination, we talk to our legal counsel, they say forward it to HUD or Ohio Civil Rights Commission to do a formal legal complaint. You can also go directly to HUD or OCRC yourself. You do not have to come to our office if you don't feel comfortable. If you're more comfortable filing directly with HUD or OCRC, please feel free to do so. The Medina County Fair Housing Office, our mission is to prevent and eliminate housing discrimination and promote equal housing opportunity for Medina County. We address issues of housing discrimination, and we do assist with tenant-landlord concerns. However, 9 times out of 10, those concerns are legal issues, and we will recommend you to talk to community legal aid. Community legal aid can provide free or reduced legal help for those situations, and they are very good. They are very helpful. Sometimes it might take a little bit of time to get a hold of somebody, but we highly recommend going to them for help. So there are additional local resources out there. We do have these resources on our website. So that's the Medina County page, and then the Department Fair Housing. So the Medina County Board of Realtors, Recovery House or Kathy's House, MMHA, Medina Creative Housing. There is a coalition on homelessness and housing in Ohio that can provide additional information as well. We do have foreclosure counseling assistance available in our county and foreclosure prevention task force. If you want to file a response to a foreclosure complaint, you can do that as well. And then there's lists online available of predatory loans and lenders. So there is some housing available in terms of voucher, or if you're in recovery and you need additional assistance. And there is a board of realtors that can help you in the home buying process and protect you that way. Anybody have any questions? All right, and with that, I will end this meeting. Thank you so much.